For over 80 years, the laughter of Tom and Jerry has echoed through the childhoods of billions around the world. We grew up watching endless chases, comical anvil drops, blocks of golden cheese, and asking ourselves a simple, innocent question. Why is Tom, such a clever and resourceful cat, never actually able to catch a tiny mouse named Jerry? Most of us grew up thinking it was just harmless, slapstick entertainment. But as you grow older, when you look back at those classic shorts through the lens of reality, psychology, and cruelty, you begin to realize a terrifying truth. This isn't an endless game of cat and mouse. It is a psychological prison, an endless cycle of mental torture where the predator is actually the most tragic victim of them all. Welcome to the dark side of Tom and Jerry. Let's start with the core question. Did Tom actually want to eat Jerry? If you pay close attention across hundreds of episodes, the answer is absolutely not. How many times have you seen Tom catch Jerry in the palm of his hand, only to freeze, look confused, or let him go instead of tearing him apart like a natural predator? In fact, in countless episodes when Jerry faces fatal dangers, like deadly mousetraps, vicious guard dogs, or falling off a cliff, Tom is often the one who frantically dives in to save his life. Why would a cat constantly save his sworn enemy? Because in Tom's world, Jerry isn't prey. Jerry is the only reason Tom is allowed to survive. To understand why Tom is trapped in this endless loop, we have to look at the master of the house. For a large portion of the classic run, we never see her face, only her lower body, an imposing figure armed with a broom or a mop. Behind the comedic facade lies a ruthless rule of the house: zero tolerance for mice. The owner has made it crystal clear. If a single mouse is found roaming free, Tom will be thrown out onto the streets, abandoned, or worse, replaced by a colder, more efficient cat. And so, a desperate game of survival begins. Tom doesn't chase Jerry out of hatred. Tom chases Jerry strictly for show. Every time Tom swings a broom at Jerry around the living room, he is sending a silent message to his owner. Look, I'm working. I'm trying to catch the mouse. Please don't kick me out. It's an everyday performance just to keep a roof over his head and save his own skin. If you analyze the deeper psychology of the show, Tom is essentially an indentured servant trapped in a toxic corporate environment. Every single day, he has to perform for an unpleasable boss who only measures his worth by his output. If his productivity drops, he faces immediate termination, which in this context means homelessness, starvation, or a brutal exile. Tom is stressed, chronically exhausted, and suffering from severe anxiety, knowing that a single slip-up will cost him everything he has. But if Tom is just an actor trying to survive, what role does Jerry play? Is Jerry really just a helpless, innocent little victim like we were led to believe? Not even close. Jerry is the true villain of this story. Think about it, Jerry is exponentially smarter than Tom. It could easily dig a smaller hole, slip out into the backyard, and find a cozy barn to live a peaceful, independent life. But Jerry never leaves. Jerry chooses to stay. Why? Because it thrives on torturing Tom. Jerry constantly sets fires, rigs explosive devices, and sabotages Tom, just to stand back and watch Tom take the brutal beatings from the owner. Jerry breaks Tom's mind, reducing him to a paranoid wreck living in constant terror of tomorrow. Jerry isn't trapped in that house. Jerry is the warden. It is a textbook gaslighter, finding sadistic joy in watching its prey slowly unravel from the inside out. Jerry holds all the power, yet chooses to weaponize it not to escape, but to inflict maximum psychological damage on someone who can never truly fight back without risking his own life. And this psychological tragedy inevitably leads to its breaking point. The darkest, most disturbing proof of this theory lies in one specific, infamous episode, Blue Cat Blues. In this episode, Tom plunges into a state of severe depression after a glamorous female cat rejects him because he is penniless. Tom sits completely lifeless on a pair of train tracks, willingly waiting for death to end his misery. And what does Jerry do? Jerry walks over. Instead of pulling his lifelong companion away from certain death, Jerry sits down right next to Tom, drops its head, and accepts the end alongside him. Wait, let's look closer at that moment. Why would Jerry give up so easily? Because Jerry realizes that without Tom, its entire game is over. Without Tom to torment, to manipulate, and to play off of, Jerry's own existence in that house loses its twisted purpose. They are two sides of the same sick coin. The scene fades out to the blaring horn of an approaching locomotive. A chilling conclusion where both characters realize a devastating truth. After all the chases, the blows, and the endless agony, they are bound together by trauma, with no future left outside of this toxic prison. Tom and Jerry was never a light-hearted children's cartoon. It is a harsh mirror reflecting the bitterness of life. A place where the strong are imprisoned by impossible standards, the weak use intelligence to manipulate others, and both are locked inside a cage called fate. The next time you hear that nostalgic opening theme, you might just look at it twice and ask yourself, who is truly the hunter and who is actually trapped? What are your thoughts on this dark theory? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more spine-chilling theories. Thank you for watching and goodbye.